Hello everyone, I hope you're taking it easy and your day has been great thus far. Doing something a little bit different, with a bit of a unboxing of a wet palette set from the Army Painter. Basically had a recommendation from someone I've worked with in terms of wet palettes. I've always been a dry palette user myself, and they basically were very much 100% in favor of using a wet palette. So with that having been said, I decided to give it a shot myself. So here we have the wet palette set from the Army Painter. So once we get onto the back, we'll see what's actually included. Brushes and paint obviously not, but the kit itself will obviously have pretty much what you need to pretty much set up a effective wet palette. At the front, in terms of the back, so a bit of a better breakdown. So there will be the hydro sheets included, so there will be 50 sheets there, 2 hydrofoams. Now from what I've seen, these 2 can be bought separately to restock if you want obviously more sheets, and if you want to get yourself some new hydrofoams. Otherwise there will be a nice little transport case included as well, which we'll see in a minute, and then you can also have a bit of a tray to attach your brushes as well. So obviously very handy, very good, especially if you do, if you travel in some shape or form and want to be able to, take your palette with you. Also looks like there'll be a little free painting guide included, which will be nice. But yeah, so obviously I'm very curious to see how a wet palette goes, given that it's pretty much brand new to me. So that's pretty much the box side. In terms of what is inside. Okay, what is inside? So all of this stuff is inside. Do have, obviously, okay, so we've got that painting guide, which we can have a look at in a minute. How to wet palettes. So obviously just some promotional information for the Army Painter, unsurprising. Here are the 2, I believe that's the hydrofoam. So we get the 2 of those in a nice little plastic bag. And then I believe these will be the actual hydro sheets, so probably 2 bags of 25, and they do have the Army Painter basically embezzled into them. So that's pretty much that side of things, and I guess the last item here is the actual case. Now surprisingly enough, the case is an actual case. So it obviously does have a bit of watch me struggle with this, probably security tag I guess, or just something to not have that against the actual label itself. But yes, this is an actual solid case. So I'm assuming if I just push that to the side, so we do have the Army Painter there, open it up. So pretty much the top of the case, the little brush holder. It's obviously not going to be a tight brush holder, but you can obviously put, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 brushes in there, I guess, to take with you. Obviously be a little bit cautious, because given that they're in here, since they're not going to be clipped into place, if this moves a lot, you'll obviously potentially impact your paintbrush head, so obviously be very wary with that. And then here pretty much just the bottom of the palette, so this is pretty much what I would expect. Your water, the hydrofoam, and then the obviously the sheet will sit on top of it. Obviously remember, it's got some decent tray length to it, but obviously don't overfill it. So that's pretty much the palette itself. It does look very cool, and I do like how it has that nice little band as well. In terms of those other things, so I'm just double check, is there anything of interest? Okay, so this little how to wet palette, or wet palette how to, once again, and there's the refills if you need them. So it does have a quick set of instructions on how to prepare, use and store. It does obviously make a comment about it, don't tilt the actual palette, which is fair enough. So looks like you'll pretty much have to soak the foam beforehand, which makes sense. Add some more water, add the sheet, wipe out the air bubbles, and then you can basically start painting. And then pretty much keep going. What's this little point here? Store with lid closed to keep paint fresh. So apparently it can possibly even go up to 48 hours for doing so. I mean, obviously it depends on you as a person. If you know you can do some extra painting within that period. The storage, in case you do need to put it somewhere for long term. And then obviously that transport. So it's very nice just to have that quick how-to guide for those who aren't familiar on how to wet palettes. That other promotional item in here, that was regarding the Army Painter paint sets. I don't know how up to date this paint guide is, but that does actually look very cool having it there. Will I move into this paint range? Probably not, but it's always nice to know that it's there. So there is that. Now, I guess the last thing is that free included painting guide. So that's the front, and that's the back. Given that it says free, please take a copy. I can imagine this is probably a little promotional material they send out to the gaming stores just to have on a little magazine stand. Not too bad for about 30 pages worth of content. Just having a quick flick through. So there looks to be a few pages obviously discussing the paint range, the speed paints, which I will admit is something that has caught my eye, because I do know slap chop is becoming a bit of a painting style these days. So a lot of these speed paints, contrast paints, etc. are good to have some awareness of. Obviously painting through various models, making a plan, the metallics, the color theory. So obviously some ideas on how to basically paint. The whole army painting side of things, which in itself is always daunting. Model assembly, and obviously the tools and how to assemble. Not sure which models they're using, but either way. Priming and painting, base coating, which is obviously something I still do. I do like how there's going to be some of the wet palette tips and tricks as well. War paints air, so for those who airbrush, not a thing that I will plan to do. It's always nice to know about how to apply washes, the gaming side of things. What else do we have here? Quick shades, so obviously using shading to create some tone, highlights, dry brushing, layering. So this little booklet does go through pretty much your very basic concepts of pretty much everything mini painting related. Finishing touches, obviously how to put stuff on your base and all that. So for a little interesting guide, especially for those who haven't ever painted before, it is a nice little piece of information to start with. So at some point in time I'll probably go back and have a bit of a better read of that. So that pretty much will bring us to the end of the unboxing of the Army Painter wet palette. Pretty much everything you need is here, bar the paintbrushes. Definitely some nice little included bonus content for those who are very new to the concept of tabletop mini painting. For me, not so much, but I'm definitely rusty. But I will admit I'm very intrigued to see how using a wet palette will go. And plus, being a wet palette, and given that everything's going to be here in the one palette, it does possibly mean that I may not need a permanent fixed painting desk. But at the same time, that doesn't mean I want to be painting in 10 different locations either. So time will tell how this goes. Anyway, leaving it there. Thank you very much for watching this quick unboxing of the Army Painter wet palette. Feel free to do the usual like, comment, subscribe if you enjoy the content. This does help support the channel. I do appreciate it. Feel free to check out Instagram and the YouTube community tab. I suspect with the wet palette, keep an eye on it in any upcoming painting shorts I do. Probably be the next time it gets featured somewhere on the channel. With that being said, stay safe and take care, and I will catch you all in a future video. See ya.